Hello everybody and welcome back again to Let's Play Disco Elysium, where we finally found our killer. Probably anyway. I mean, who else could have done it at this point? He's here on this island. He has something that could have been the murder weapon. And I suppose he does have a motive, sort of. If he thinks he's in, the Revolutionary War still, then I guess killing a mercenary would fit right in. I did get the weapon, which we assume is the murder weapon, Triangong 446. The bolt action 4.46 caliber Triangong is the poor man's sniper rifle. While not the most reliable of firearms, it is relatively precise due to a very manageable recoil, thus allowing the shooter to take multiple consecutive shots fast. This particular piece is missing a scope though. I mean, that is obviously a bit of a problem because he would need a scope for that kind of shot. So, that is definitely a potential problem. Anyway, we have a few more questions to ask him, so let's just continue with that. Come on, can you not talk to him?
Minions
There we
of
go.
capital. What do you want?
Okay, so let's ask him about the gun first.
I've used it for killing people.
Obviously.
Killing people?
It's a gun. That's what they're for. You want a moralist euphemism? Defending your family and your property. I haven't done that.
Okay, so who specifically have you killed?
I've used it to kill people.
Interesting. During or after the war?
There is no after the war. Class war is never over.
Well, there would be our motive.
So he's continued killing after hostilities ended. Okay. This is it. You can feel it, like battery acid on the tip of your tongue. Something you haven't felt in a while.
But what?
This is what you live for. This is the shit.
You mean like solving a case?
The great serotonin jackpot. The solution.
The solution. Yeah, I mean, at this point, it is the only solution that makes sense, right? After we ruled out everything else.
Go in straight. No euphemisms. He doesn't like those.
All right.
No. Be careful now. Slow and steady does it. Make him repeat it first.
I tend to agree with rhetoric here.
Don't mess this up. Remember, he wants to tell you. Get personal.
So you're saying you killed people after active fighting stopped. Did you use that gun to shoot and kill a colonel of the security contractor Colonel? Yeah, why not go straight for the one thing that we actually care for? I know you want to tell me. Have you killed anyone with that gun in the last week or two? Wait, so which one do I say then? I don't know. Let's go straight for the topic at hand.
The who now?
He leans in and cups his ear.
He heard you. He just wants to hear you say it again. This is dramatic flair on his part. Right choice. We're in. Do it, sire.
The corpse in ceramic armor hanging behind the whirling in wrecks. Did you shoot him? The fascist death squad who took a bullet in the mouth on the night of March the 4th. His name was Alice Cottaner. He was part of a security detail in Martinez. Well, I guess he probably wouldn't know his name. A beautiful, strong man sent here by the Honorable Private Military Company Colonel. You know who I mean. Yeah, let's just pick the first. That seems to be the most neutral description.
Oh yes, that one. Ugly piece of work, that boy.
How so?
Did you kill him?
The lieutenant takes a sudden step towards him.
I am a son of a welder and an officer of the commune of Revachol. I do not collaborate with murderers and pederasts of the liberal regime.
Okay, but I just got a new task. Extract a confession from the deserter. You need at least 3 examples of proof to show that you have him anyway. There's little point in his resistance. Okay, let's see.
A drop of blood in the saliva. Exhaust him with proof. Pile it all on him. Get a confession.
Okay, let's see how we would do that.
The gun. The murder weapon is the perfect opener.
Right.
The scent of blood in the air. But what else? There was something you can't remember. Something about the tracks. Suddenly, all those tracks are so confusing. Go with something else first.
I don't need your cooperation. I've got this. Okay, I got the gun. We've done the ballistics. Point to the tower. The shot came from this island. Come on, what am I forgetting? Hit yourself on the side of your head. Okay, let's back off for a moment. Tell me this. Okay, let's start with the gun, maybe. That's all you have to say about this?
Not a lot of guns around that use military-grade ammunition, are there?
It's a real gun, not like your little musketeer pistols. I've seen you prance around with those, jumping hoops for the liberals. You look like imbeciles. Why don't you ask them to give you real weapons? Going against automatic rifles with these toy guns. Of course you got those boys killed.
Have you been watching us for some time?
Damn, he saw you. He's watched it happen.
Clearly he has.
He would have a good view of the tribunal from here. It's not just empty boasting. So he saw you. Okay. So what? Don't let it divert you.
I mean, we didn't fare that well in that situation, so I don't think this should be a problem. We saved a lot of them. Their leader, Titus, we handled that situation. Stop changing the subject. We have the murder weapon. Point to it. Okay, then, concede. Honestly, I don't think he's interested in that at all, so let's just continue with the weapon.
You know what? You're right. I'm convinced this made the shot. Should we call it?
The lieutenant looks at the weapon demonstratively. Dramatically asks, you think we have the murder weapon? I'm calling it we have the murder weapon. Let's ask dramatically.
4.46 jacketed ammunition, modified for range. We have it. This is it.
All right, then I agree.
Good.
Okay, so that finishes that task. The lieutenant takes out his notebook and draws a single line. Another quest finished.
This feels good, doesn't it? Tearing things up like this. When you have the murder weapon, you have the killer.
Yep, looks pretty good for us.
Murder.
The old man does not say more. He just glances into the reeds and then twitches once more.
This pushed him, but not enough. Just a little more.
Okay, yes, and we kinda calculated that the shot came from here.
I saw you poking around there, looking for evidence. You're damn diligent when it comes to dead fascies. Did you like the view?
You had direct visibility. There are embrasures in the concrete, specifically meant for a top follower to use. And you had a long-range rifle in your possession.
The lieutenant softens his voice.
You've been here a long time, Mr. Druss. Too long. You clearly need medical aid.
I'm ready to die. I've done my part.
He's practically admitting to it. Dead fascists for fascists. Done his part.
Yeah, I think there is little doubt that he's the one who killed him.
Just one thing remains unclear. The rifle does not seem to have a scope.
Right, I noticed that. one thing, where's the scope? How did you make the shot without a scope? We have everything else. You said fascist, you're admitting you killed him. It's the best uninterrupted line of sight into the window in all of Martinez. The view was perfect with a pair of binoculars I could have seen in the room. Yeah, but where is the scope?
Forget about your stupid fucking scope. I don't know where it is. Find it yourself. It's your problem now.
So it is around here somewhere, you say?
He lost it. He just doesn't know where it is. Forget it. Push on.
Okay, so are you admitting you killed him? I mean, indirectly, you are admitting to it.
You're sad for your fascia brother, aren't you? One twig got broken. Now the others are sad.
He waves his hand. There's a twitch, then one more, one in his right eye.
Almost. He almost burst out there. Keep piling arguments. Anything.
Okay, but it looks like I don't have any more arguments, so what am I forgetting?
Wait, here it comes. The goddamn Maybells. The dried Maybells on Clausia's roof.
Are you sure that has anything to do with this? I mean, yes, the Maybells are like a revolutionary flower, but would he have something to do with that? I guess I will try it.
There were Maybells in the grass when you got here. They're revolutionary symbols from the war.
Okay, so is this where the flowers came from? But I mean, they were dried, the ones on Clausia's balcony, so they have been a bit older.
Nowhere else, nowhere in all of Martinez have you seen them this spring. Wait, don't forget the footprints. The diagonal prints in the dust in the secret space behind Clausia's bedroom. Now they're gonna come up.
So you think that he was the one who left the footprints in the secret passage? Huh. Okay, I mean, I guess we can investigate that possibility and stop slapping yourself.
You got it. Remember, the boot prints were like no modern soul.
Okay, a good point.
Maybe don't beat yourself anymore, though. You're not immortal.
There were Maybells behind the victim's window. Show him the dried flower. Okay, let's see how he will react to that.
Damn Maybells. The whole island is turning white with them. So many this year, too. The spring is coming. No, it's already here. Wash the filth away.
I haven't seen these flowers anywhere else in Martinez, only here. A young woman called Clausia. Ring any bells? These dried flowers were behind her window. Yeah, apparently they don't seem to grow anywhere but here. What a coincidence.
They blossom on the islets before we fertilize them with our blood. Resurrection was snow white in May before they ruined it.
South, the Bay of Martinez is dotted with little freckles of islets, turning green, with white flowers in white snow.
The coast, too, before they piled their containers on top of it, filled with broken, useless trash for fat-fingered bourgeois children to play with.
You must get around a lot to stay undetected all these years. Do you know any secret paths? Pinball workshops?
So you think he may have been using that secret passage as a hiding spot for some time?
I may.
A curious tremor passes his face. So, yeah, Clausia, ring any bell?
Clausia.
He knows her, but hadn't heard the name.
Yes, Clausia, you hadn't heard her name, had you? You know her, right? She had intimate relations with the victim, the mercenary. Right.
With the victim.
He turns his sight from the whitening field of flowers and falls silent. Then the muscles in his jaw twitch and a spasm.
There is a small tremble, Looks like a smile. A crooked smile. Yet isn't quite voluntary. He's about to burst. Don't leave any loose ends. Get him on everything.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about those boots of yours.
Everything is brands with you individualists. Who cares what brand my shoes are? Sansa? Some shit.
Show me the soles, please, Mr. Duras.
Fucking imbecile.
The old man stretches out his leg. A black and white spiral pattern covers the sole of the worn-out running shoes on his feet.
The maker is Sensorique. The model is Corbeil, and the size is 43.
Which is the size of the footprints we found, right?
These are not the unusual horizontal pattern soles you saw in the dust on the floor of the hidden room. They do, however, seem to be about the same size.
Okay, they are the same size, but not the same pattern.
The size fits, but not the sole.
The lieutenant comes to the same conclusion. Okay. Wait, maybe it's simpler than that. Who cares about shoes? We got you without the prints too. Let's see what Drama has in mind here. I mean, this is a pretty good skill check.
Sire, he doesn't have to be wearing them right now.
People change shoes. It doesn't mean you weren't there near the room the victim died in, sneaking around. Yeah, I mean, that's true, but it wouldn't help us because we can't really tie him to that place. It's not proof. I think just having the same size would not suffice as evidence. But still, let's see how he will react to that.
Racking those brains, are you? Desperate to report something back to your masters? They must have really loved that dead fuck.
Not really.
The lieutenant gives you a quick sideways glance and nods to acknowledge. The prints were his. You can see it in those eyes. He can't keep them from flickering, looking for something.
I mean, Drama is convinced that he left these prints, but we can't prove it.
The old man stares at his own prints in the ash around the fire. Silent suddenly, some strange process within him. A gush of wind. Seagulls in the distance.
You know who he was. A coalition-trained murderer. Armored and armed. He wasn't human. The blunt end of a hammer. Dripping with blood.
He was a rapist. I'm not saying he didn't deserve it. He was a killer, but he was still under the protection of the law. He was a soldier too. He was a man. Yeah, I guess he was a killer, but even killers are under the protection of the law, I suppose.
Beating us to the ground. Moaning with joy. You hounds get so thorough when a company-trained killer dies. I haven't seen you on this coast for 40 years. You know, maybe I should have killed one sooner.
Maybe you have.
Got your attention. Now you stop beating druggies and prostitutes in your basement. Now you come to investigate. Not when they die by the hundreds.
He breathed through flared nostrils.
This is it. Shot him. Shot him. Say shot him, not killed him.
Okay, rhetoric, I will listen to you, so you shot him.
Oh, the inhumanity. One paramilitary less in Revachol.
You can almost see him squeeze a tear out of his eye, his fists begin to tremble from the anger.
The lieutenant raises his right arm to hush you. Hush. He does not need to be pushed anymore. The ball is rolling.
I mean, so far he hasn't directly said that he killed him, just that he doesn't mind that he's dead.
While the lieutenant listens, holding his breath.
Just not hold your breath. How did you? I don't know. Let's not first.
I had them in my sights. Both of them. Him and the whore. I was breathing with them, in phase, and I pulled the trigger and flew on the air until I landed in his mouth.
All right, here we go. That is the confession that we were looking for. And it is pretty unambiguous.
I didn't think I had a shot like that in me anymore. I did. I saw him kneel there with his mouth full of death, and that stupid look on his face. And his dick still in her.
And I mean, he does know a lot of details that only the killer would know, so I think we can be certain that he's the right person and he isn't just, you know, making this up. So, yeah, it's gotta be him.
Nothing. I went to sleep. Next morning there were Maybells everywhere. The world was white, or what's left of it anyway. My last spring here. I knew the fascists would come to avenge their own. And so they did.
So they did, but they didn't kill the right people, but a bunch of people who were not involved in this at all.
Mr. Dross, are you aware you're confessing to murder?
The lieutenant asks after a second of silence.
Yes.
A single word is all he gives. Well, there we go. We got a confession.
And you were looking at them, the victim and a young woman, having sex, through the scope of your rifle that night, before you shot him?
The lieutenant takes out his notebook slowly, very slowly.
The old man nods.
Why?
Because that's what they were doing.
He shrugs and smacks his lips.
The motive. This is where the motive is going to come from.
Well, I feel that him being a mercenary might be enough of a motive, but let's see.
You can coax it out of him. The lieutenant's preparing the ground.
I don't understand. Do you, detective? I don't understand this part.
Why were you looking at them that night? I mean, that's a good question.
I'm always looking.
He cocks his head to the side, then turns his eyes to the city. Another tremor passes his right side, lower in intensity.
Are you always looking through the scope of a rifle? I'm just trying to understand.
A rifle's scope has the best magnification.
And if you don't like it?
Click.
You pull the trigger.
Yes. Think of it as a form of critique.
A form of critique, a rather drastic form of critique. So basically, since you're just on this island the entire time, probably bored, you used the scope of your rifle to, you know, peep on people, and then you saw this mercenary having sex with Classy and thought, I gotta kill him. Okay.
He will not stop now. These dialectical materialist types never do. Exploit it. You've got him going. Connect every little piece now. Wrap this up like a gift.
I mean, I still have this skill check here, but maybe I will wait until I exhausted all my other dialogue options. What specifically did you not like about what you saw the night of the murder? Right.
Them. Fucking. I didn't like that.
Okay, were you jealous?
Jealousy is a reactionary concept.
Of course.
I didn't like the Reaver enjoying himself. Drugged out, soothed in the arms of a young woman. I wanted him to die so he could not enjoy life anymore.
I mean, that is basically jealousy, what you're describing here. Jealous that he was having fun.
And I wanted to see his head explode. That too. She should know better than to hold a child murderer between her thighs. I knew he'd be there for one more second. Writhing. That's all it takes for the bullet to reach his head. Now that I think of it, I wasn't aiming for his mouth. I wanted his brains to spill out on her. But you can't have everything.
You can't have everything.
He wants to see her covered in blood. To punish her.
Well, okay, I think we have a motive. How long had you been watching her? You wanted to punish her or so you killed him? You had feelings for that woman. I'm not even sure if that's the case. I feel it's also irrelevant. So how long had you been watching her?
Since she came to Martinez. I saw her sneaking in the reeds early in the morning, behind the Fell building. It was dark, still winter. She didn't have her skimpy outfit on then, just a spot in the night, moving.
Past the Fell building on the coast? What was she doing there?
That's a good question.
Hiding something in the water. She had a fag after she'd done it. I was up in the ruins there. She couldn't see me, but I could see her, smoking. She was nervous, but not scared.
So she hid something there. I wonder if we can go and find it. What do you think she hid there?
Her passport and tickets to Rier. And from there to Cachet Brut.
All right.
In the free state of Seminine, hidden away at the edge of the earth, near the Pale.
So some kind of hidden container on the coast. You looked into it?
Yes, after she'd gone. It was a submersible. Well made, actually.
Sloppy, we should have gotten her to tell us about this. Did you take the documents?
No, I put them back. Why would I take them? I'm not going to phone. Oh, I mean...
Moving on, did you continue watching her after this? Well, probably.
I did. She had a face like an archipelago, with those birthmarks, and a body hard and lean and bruised all over, black and yellow. I could see she's taken a beating. I could see who she was, too. A spook, on the run. Revachol's the cloaca of capital now. All the bagmen and arms dealers end up here to do drugs and have sex like animals.
You could tell she was a spook from the documents?
She had different color hair on the photo, and glasses. Forged. Some sordid bourgeois affair. I've heard about this kind of thing on the radio.
Okay.
He's setting it up for you.
Okay.
The bruises, you can't make that out in a scope.
And you could see her bruises through the scope of a rifle. Or maybe through the peephole in the secret passage. If we assume that he used that passage, he probably also used that hole, right?
You can't see bruises through a scope. It's just a blur.
Okay, we have another one here. How does he know those minute details about her body? Footprints in the dust, could have changed shoes, found the peephole. Yep, he has been using the peephole, obviously.
It quickly comes to you.
The bruises on her body, any chance you've seen them through a hole in the wall? Yes, that's what I'm thinking.
Oh, yes. Cutting those drugs of hers into little lines with a knife. Masturbating.
Oh, great.
Did you make that hole?
With a clip-point knife.
Well, so apparently you were a little bit obsessed with her, huh? If you went through all that trouble. And I mean, getting into that secret passage is not that easy, so someone could have seen you. So you certainly took some risks just for that.
Good for listening in, too. For hearing the moaning and the snorts.
And ever seen her through a window on a roof, maybe?
Like that, too. Yes. Bending like a bow against the glass.
You've been through the secret route behind the walling and wrecks. Those were your footprints there. You just changed your shoes. Yep, that's clearly what happened here.
I've been through all of Martinez, every nook and cranny.
And that too, apparently.
Yes, that too. The things they did in that little room. What she'd do to feel good. Funny the way light works. You turn it on inside, and it gets so dark out, you can't see a man looking in. I learned that in the 20s, when they were still hunting me. I've seen people do some shit, but...
So you were basically looking through her window at night and she couldn't see you because it was dark outside. That is super creepy. Ugh.
Those two took the cake. You hear the familiar scribble of the lieutenant's pen. A quick glance at you. One more loose end down. We're doing this, detective.
Oh, we're totally doing this. But what is that loose end?
How did you get in there? The hidden pinball workshop.
Right, I mean, we know that there were keys in the bushes, but did he know about them?
I can just walk in there now after a good wash. I told you, they think I'm an antisocial. Closing hour is a good time. The kitchen's empty.
But I mean, the door was locked.
You had to open the steel door in the kitchen? How?
I got that open a long time ago. Some bourgeois game merchant lived there. I don't know, 15 years ago. He left spare keys all over, and I took one. Then I saw her turn the light on one night in my scope.
He points towards the Whirling Rex. Okay, so you had keys. Not the ones that we found in the bushes, but other keys, because apparently there were a bunch of spare keys for that place, I see.
Andy found use for it. A spare key, like the one hanging behind the Union box window.
Exactly. You wanted to punish her, so you killed him. You had feelings for that woman, so conclusion, it wasn't about him, it was about her. Well, I mean, he basically said that he kind of wanted to punish her, so that is probably true.
She practically breastfed that man. You wouldn't believe the things she let him do to her.
He shakes his head and stares at the ashes.
You stare at them too. In your mind, her innocence day still turns to leaf. Airport bag in hand. Silks flowing in her wake.
The dream, this has got nothing to do with that. It doesn't. But I wonder where this is going to lead if I pursue that thought.
See you tomorrow, Harry. Her voice rings in the evening air. Burning.
She did deserve a good punishing. I hate women too, you know. I am not like that. I don't think like that. Men are insane. Shake your head. Say nothing. Well, at least I would hope that you're not like that.
No one gives a shit what you think. You and your cronies kill 10 working-class men a day. I've heard the statistics on Channel 8.
Have you now? But I mean, because of your act here, a bunch of working-class men died because the mercenary guys took revenge on people who were not involved in this. Not directly anyway. I mean, they covered it up, so they did kind of get involved, but they didn't kill him. You had feelings for that woman. I mean, he seems obsessed with her. I'm not sure if they were feelings, but let's see how he will react to that.
There's nothing to hold on to. Only this. It's not enough.
What do you mean by that?
The coals of his eyes glisten suddenly, like stones dripping with water. Is he crying?
Man needs to feel something else. In this fight, it helps if you have your eye on something there. It's weakness, I know.
There have been others. Was that why you left the dried flowers behind her window? one more thing about this woman. So you left the flowers behind her window.
No.
And why did you do that?
I don't really know. I was there one night and she was crying, like a child, in the corner of her room on the floor, like she does sometimes.
And when was that?
The day after I killed him.
And then you brought her Maybells after you were the one who killed him.
Yes. I don't know why I do the things I do anymore.
You wanted to console her, you wanted to manipulate her, say nothing. Yeah, I'm not sure if I really want to make an assumption about that.
Neither does he. He lowers his head, like a sunflower on a withered stalk. In the silence, the lieutenant draws a line in his notes, then nods at you once more. One more down.
So, in conclusion, it wasn't about him, it was about her. I guess in a sense it was, yes.
Her.
He repeats, staring at the ashes, then reads, there's a twitch in the corner of his eye.
The lieutenant nods at you in acknowledgement.
Alright, well, I guess we got a motive. And it wasn't specifically about the revolution and the mercenary, but I guess more about Glacier.
That's it. Motive. We have it.
Nice.
Where is she, that Glacier? I haven't seen her there for days.
She got away, we don't know where she is. She got away, but she led us here first. She figured out someone was watching her from the seafort. We arrested her, I'm not at liberty to say. Yeah, she got away, but she kinda led us here. I mean, we already figured it out before, so we would have checked out this place anyway, but she also tried to help us.
Gone. I knew it. She kept staring into the scope this last week at the island, like she knew.
Well, she knew. She definitely knew.
She'd look at night, crying or smoking on the roof, staring right into me. It doesn't matter.
Midtown, across the Bay of Revachol, the oceanic wind washes 40-story towers. Above them, Lausanne's central aerodrome, a cocoon suspended in the sky by a web of suspension wiring, encircled by hybrid aircraft.
Alright, let's look north.
On the platform, a young woman is withdrawing from amphetamines, barbiturates, and alcohol. Yet still she smiles among the crowd, among the great ghost of the city she's leaving, for another, far south. Smaller, distant, hidden, not like the great chandeliers she sees sparkle in the dusk below her. Streets, towers, tenements and cold water. Across the water, a dark strip of ruins, barely visible. If she didn't squint her eyes, he knew she knows. She was looking at the island, figuring it out, day by day, cigarette by cigarette.
We could get more. We've got him talking.
Okay, let's see what we can get.
Who knows what he's seen and done over the years? You could get more out of him. He likes talking.
Well, apparently so.
Enough. Take him in. Bend his arms behind his back and end this.
Now I still have some options here. When looking at anything else you haven't liked? I mean, that would be a good question.
A tragic comedy. Druggies, prostitutes, and rentiers.
But you didn't kill any of those, right?
A strange little engine seems to fire up in him again. It straightens his back. The familiar put of hatred.
More specifically, yeah, wait, we have more serious things to discuss. Yeah, any more details?
Specifically, the whole city is a charnel house. Stripped clean and draped in neon. But Martinez... Martinez is the worst.
How come?
Because of the racists. Everyone is a racist in Martinez. It's their favorite thing to do in the whole world. Listening to race-themed radio shows. In the ruins, in their lorries.
He points inland. I mean, we did meet quite a few racists, that much is true.
Pumped full of steroids and Radio Revachol 92. Race this, race that. It's all sanctioned by that Social Democratic Union and the farce of a Social Democrat who runs it.
You mean Mr. Clare?
Yes, the fly larva in his container. He let some nihilistic advertising yuppies erect a statue of Philippe III, a syphilitic murderer, on the town square, to spit on the working class.
I wonder why he did that. So, anything more?
Not since the serfs of ancient Pericarnassus has history produced a more inert social class than the Martinez proletariat. The rest of Revachol at least pretends to rebuild. These people still live in ruins. In tents, like animals, like those boom-boom morons on the ice. A pity they didn't drown in that tent of theirs.
He keeps shaking his head with sorrow for the sight he missed. He really does like to talk. So, is that all?
The worst of them is the blood-drenched Sucrion on her yacht, licking her lips. The old whore's gone now. Her gun-toting porcelain men are dead. So, actually, no.
Yeah, he's talking about Joyce now.
The worst is that old cock parading around in his uniform, throwing balls all day. It's not enough that the racists and liberals are dancing on our graves. The old loyalist ghouls still parade the ruins too.
Well, as it happens, he's actually dead.
Every morning he's there, while the parasites he fought to protect are off in Ozon, or Koyamoran, or some other island they built their palaces on, feeding on drugs and having sex with their own children.
He really likes to talk himself into a rage, huh? I can't even tell him that Renee is dead.
That's all the rich really want. Sex with their own children.
Okay.
Throughout history, even the royal bloodline of the suzerain, it's all just an excuse for them to have sordid sex. At least that old cunt Frisell is now dead.
I feel this might be a little bit reductive, but okay. I have some questions about this, do I?
We did good when we pushed him under the horse car. Until, in the 30s, those disco whores.
Oh dear, now he's going to talk about disco. He breathes in, his breath heavy with hatred. You cannot make out a single word. Maybe for the better.
The disco whores are too much. Hatred shuts down his brain's language center, leaving only a nonsensical sputter.
Yeah, I'm starting to get a little bit bored of his ramblings, so let's see if we have anything else to ask.
There was something about a statue and nihilistic advertising agency people might be worth investigating. And the Sucrian on her yacht? Joyce? Probably.
Okay, we actually still have quite a few questions here, so I will bite. Tell me more about the disco horse.
Horse.
Is all he says. Even that word has to be pushed through his teeth with great force or rage seizes too hard. Yeah, tell me more about that statue on the roundabout.
Syphilis is a disease Philippe III contracted in a whorehouse. The statue is an abomination.
So, what do you mean by that?
The bacteria entered his brain and made him squander trillions on sparkling wine, cocainum, and monuments of himself. His son, Philip IV, the insane, contracted syphilis in the womb.
He breathes in with a wheeze of hatred.
That is technically possible, although Philippe III was not actually syphilitic. He was just mad.
Okay, I think I will trust you here over him, Encyclopedia.
And he still went on to govern Revachol for 25 years. We lost 2 million lives toppling that mode of government. And those grotesque statues, too. Hundreds of them.
But this one is still here, huh?
What a keen remark. Yes, it is, isn't it? It's still there. Do you know why?
Because you forgot to take it down, because the king is holy and his statues are indestructible. Say, because the king is holy and his statues are indestructible, but mean it ironically. Because cynical advertising yuppies erected a deconstructed version of it. Yeah, I think that's actually the reason.
That's right. Some advertising cockroaches erected a cynical deconstruction of it. We tore it down with honest working-class plastic explosives. And there it is again.
He shakes his head in disgust.
Art is a bourgeois establishment. It's an affront to humanity. Every gallery should be bulldozed, and the artists should all be given 30 years of hard labor in Yekokata.
Yeah, everything is bourgeois for you, apparently.
Wait, the bullet hole in Philippe's heart. The statue had been shot. That was him.
Oh, I see.
It had to be. He's already proven capable of taking a far more complicated shot from here.
It was you. You shot the statue. There was a bullet hole in his heart. Yeah. Did you shoot the statue?
I did. A needless, sentimental gesture. I should have spared the bullet for a deformed monster of liberal capitalism. Shameful, really.
Yes, you totally should have done that.
Yes, shameful. So many others to punish over the years. Isn't that right, detective?
He turns to you. Okay, I guess that's it for the statue then.
The fat union man let them put it there. Corrupt as he is. Probably got a fat check for it too. Shared with the law.
He keeps having opinions about the union's leadership.
Yes, maybe we should ask him about that. You mentioned the union is social democratic and Mr. Clare a farce of a social democrat. Tell me more about it.
Another hideous disappointment. Unions are the real enemy. The true enemy of the proletariat. Placating the masses.
Okay, so basically everything is kind of bad and evil to you. So what exactly are you fighting for? I mean, what is not corrupt and bourgeois and, I don't know, bad in your opinion?
Disappointment. So personal. He displays a familiarity with the union's top brass.
So Claire is a disappointment to you.
That deformed toad? I wouldn't expect him to wipe his own ass. I mean, the brains of the operation. The smart one.
Oh, so the other Claire brother.
Edgar.
So you mean Edgar, Claire.
He talks a big game about uprising and social base. They must have sent the smart one to some university in Le Jardin, where it's alienation this and hegemony that.
And you have talked to him?
First against the wall with him.
He stopped poking at the ash now, just shakes his head.
The Clares wouldn't miss a man hidden in their own backyard. Not all this time. Nothing happens in Martinez without them knowing.
Good point.
Of course. Maybe the Clears asked him to. Don't go straight for the kill. Exhaust everything else first. Soften him up.
So, have you approached them maybe?
I haven't approached anyone. I hid. It was Edgar who came to me.
Oh, okay.
How did he know you were here?
He didn't just stumble in like an oaf. He figured it out. Some kids told him about a monster on the island. I told you, he has brains.
He points to the path leading to the tower. Okay, so the twins probably told him.
Stepped right off the boat and walked down where you came. I even kept the door open for him. Thought he was the man of the left. Wouldn't rat me out. I was right about one of those things.
Well, he didn't rat you out. We found you some other way. So, when was this?
20 years ago. Neither of them could walk now, could they? They were less fat then.
Okay. So, I guess these were not the twins that told Claire about this guy because it was 20 years ago.
That's around the time the Clares came to power.
Huh. So, what did you talk about?
Edgar did the talking. Paid his respects like I were a fossil in a uniform. Offered platitudes about the struggle. Flaunted his pink degree. Even quoted Marzel. Never trust a social democrat who quotes Marzel. Oh, and charity too. They love their charity. Offered me blankets and social housing. I still have the gas cooker he brought.
Okay, so he gave you some charity, but you were not impressed. And he just let you be here, I suppose.
Let me be here? The ZOC is an unlawful successor of the Commune of Revachol. We took this fortification from the Loyalists. Even the Clares understand this.
They let him be here. Understanding was a courtesy. But why such a courtesy?
I wouldn't know. Mr. Ross, did you kill the Grenelle mercenary for the Clares to incite a riot? I mean, haven't we already established he killed him because of Glacier? Are we trying to find a different motive now?
You know why I killed that fucker, Dwat. As to Edgar, I'm not doing anything for that swine again.
All right. But what do you mean again?
Again? What have you done for Edgar before?
Right.
Tried teaching him some Marzovian socioeconomics. They didn't stick.
Okay.
We parted ways.
Really? That's what you did?
Okay, he didn't do the hanged man for them. But he's insinuating something.
Okay.
There is more here. You can feel it. He was not outright lying, but almost.
All right, we have yet another skill check. What was the deal between him and Edgar? +1, why did the forewoman Tiffane Holly withdraw? He shot the statue, talked to Ivra about previous forewoman. Huh, okay, let's see.
The connection comes to you like a splash of cold water. Dark, cold water.
20 years ago, when you met Edgar, the Clares didn't run the Union yet, did they? Right. A sputter from the old man.
He acknowledges it. Here we go. A twist behind the dark bend.
Then who did?
That bourgeois cow. Tiffin Holly was her name. Licked the rich man's hand every time he came to town. Never seen a labor leader so hot on mutual cooperation. And money. She liked that too. That Holly was a real bridge builder and a deal maker.
His eyes glistened suddenly with hatred. Of course, with what else would they glisten? She was also a woman, wasn't she? Like that Glacier. Is this a reason?
She was. And she was real soft on those money men. Had a Barbara Muscova bag over her shoulder that she liked to bring to work.
And then she just disappeared.
Called in, they say. On the eve of battle. Ran away. Vanished like a piss stain.
He squints and smiles at the black logs.
No, that's not quite it, is it?
Well, apparently there's more to this.
Did she? They say her daughter called in, not her personally. But that wasn't really her daughter, was it?
Huh.
No, I guess it was not.
You could swear you see the embers glow again under his eyes on the dust. Edgar had someone make the call. Why is it, Mr. Dross?
She couldn't make the call herself.
Because she was dead, maybe?
Here it is, the bend in the river.
Well, tell me.
Because she was dead.
So you killed her for the Clare brothers.
Just say nothing.
All right, say nothing.
The cow caught a bullet in her right lung, fell into the canal grasping her tit and drowned. Or bled. Hard to say. It was a sloppy job, and a moving target.
Okay.
She was going home, waddling, dressed in yellow, drunk like she often was. The ruins were black around her, and she had a yellow leather bag under her arm. She tried to cross the canal.
So basically, you just confessed to another murder.
Heading home to Grand Couronne or Betancourt, someplace like that, where they build those new bâtiments for the people who flourish in the hell around her, and the ruins.
So you shot her.
Someone shot her. Or maybe the cow just fell. My memory is full of holes. All I know is...
Well, for someone whose memory is full of holes, you do remember a lot of details about her. Like the color of her dress and what she was wearing. So, yeah, I think you remember this pretty well.
Nothing changed. Not in the material base. Not in the hegemony. There was no uprising. Just words. The Union fizzled. Sogged. Nothing came of it. Nothing.
So you helped the Clare brothers to get into power, but now you regret it because they're basically just as bad. Right.
Edgar didn't keep his part of the deal.
A sputter again, nothing more.
If you were to testify to this, give the RCM something on Edgar, you could walk.
The lieutenant says in a voice even calmer as if it were nothing at all. Okay, interesting.
We would strike everything you've done and process you as a POW. You were in a war. You were on assignment. We could even extradite you to the Samaran People's Republic.
A degenerate worker state. Goat shit. No, thank you. I'm Revacholian. My days are short. I will rot away here, in a moral intern cell. I will not testify to anything.
Well, if that's what you want. But you did do it. Okay then, that's that. Point to your head, but I know. Yeah, but you did do it, right?
I saw it happen, and I liked it. That's all I have to say. I didn't live and fight for 40 years to end up as a collaborationist. I've heard it on Channel 8, 40 AM, Radio Revachol, late night.
Right.
Everyone is a blobber in this world. Everyone betrays everyone. They're all already locked up for betrayal. The best ones, the ones with heart, were slaughtered, trampled.
He looks to the city.
There is plenty here to work with once he's in custody, and the lieutenant knows it. He gives you a little nod to proceed.
Okay, what else do we got here? The blood-drenched Sucreon on her boat. What is a Sucreon? Yeah, tell me more about that.
A Sucreon, a bloodsucker, a rich whore on our boat.
Oh, you mean Joyce.
Women like her feed on the life energy of young working-class men, and they let her. I can't believe the inert lumpen out there. They just let her drive her little boat like that. No violence, not even a robbery. The working class has lost their appetite for justice.
His voice trails off in disappointment.
If only he had the ammunition.
Then he probably would have shot her as well, huh? By the cock parading in his colorful uniform, you mean René? Yes, clearly.
Every fucking morning for 34 years. throwing that ball. One ball against the other. I've always loathed that game. That is not a working class game. I don't care what they say on Radio June.
So what is working class in your definition? You seem to hate everything, absolutely everything.
Royalist ghouls played like it was life itself. Click, clack across the water each day. And that uniform, like a parrot plumage. I won't even mention that he's a traitor to his race. A petank maniac race traitor.
Race traitor. Just not now, I don't know about. I feel I don't really want to get any deeper into that. Let's just back off before you get too agitated.
What is there to be agitated about? The unholy ghoul. I love it there. It reminds me of everything we fought for. At least we killed Afristal and his kingsman.
He's overtaken by a coughing fit. I can't even tell him that Renee is dead. Anyway, glad we talked about this.
Glad? It's all gone.
Okay, I still have more dialogue options here that I haven't checked, and I still have this skill check here. However, again, the episode is like far too long already, so I'm going to leave again until the next episode, and we will hopefully finish this conversation the next time. So yeah, let's leave him be. And I got a bunch of skill points, I think, yeah, so I need to figure out how I want to use them. But for now, let's call it a day. As always, thank you for watching, and see you again next time.